Unlike the first time of Pan-Africanism, Britain, France, and the United States can't stop it this time. Because Pan-Africanism was stopped from the outside, not from the inside. It was stopped by a bullet in the head of Patrice Lumumba. It was stopped by repeated overthrows by the CIA and MI6, and it cannot happen anymore. They don't have the power, they don't have the space, and Africa can prevent it. Most of the world is reaching the peak or has already reached the peak of their population. So what we have is aging rather than further population growth. China reached its peak population probably 2 years ago on the official estimates, and will now experience quite a significant decline of population. China's at 1.4 billion people. By the end of this century, the projection is well below 1 billion, and the actual UN medium forecast is below 800 million. The one region of the world where the population continues to grow rapidly is Africa. Africa's population grew 5 times from 1950 till today. It's 1.5 billion. According to the medium forecast of the UN, Africa's population will reach 2.5 billion at mid-century and about 3.7 billion in 2100. And in percentage terms, this means Africa's population was 9% of the world population in 1950. Today, it's 19%. 1 out of every 5 people on the planet is African. And by 2050, it will be about 25% of the world population. And by 2100, 35% of the world population. So Africa will be in the center of the world story, the world history, the world population, the world demographics in the course of this century. Now, what does all of this mean for Africa? I believe, not that it is inevitable, but I believe that it is feasible and the right target for Africa essentially to follow the path that China followed between 1980 and 2020, in a process of 40 years going from low income to high income, going from quite widespread continuing poverty, especially in rural areas, to zero poverty during this period. And because of the demographic changes as well, becoming a powerhouse of the world economy. And that is what I think should be envisioned, should be planned for, and should be accomplished. China used its advantages of planning, foresight, visioning, and even what we call relative lag. It's poverty, meaning a lot of catching up room, and technological innovation to achieve 10% per year economic growth over a 40-year period. There's the rule of 70, which many of you will know. If you want to know how much a growth process, how long it takes for something to double, take the growth rate and divide 70 by that growth rate. So if you're growing at 10% per year, divide 70 by 10, and that means every 7 years, the economy doubles in size. China achieved that kind of doubling over a 40-year period. So think about it. Every 7 years, you double in size. If you do that for 35 years, that's 5 doublings. 2 to the 5th power. 32-time increase of the economy in China 32 times in 35 years. And because this continued even beyond 35 years, it's been about a 40-time increase of output of China, which is why China became the world's largest economy during this 40-year period. My analysis and recommendation is that Africa chart out such an ambitious trajectory.